Advait Koraikar. I'm 8 years old and I'm an abstract painter. I do abstract art, and abstract art is amazing because it gives me freedom to imagine, and I can even get crazy with my ideas. There's no right and wrong in abstract art, and most important part is everyone sees it differently. You may see what I saw while creating, or you may see something entirely different. I was quite young when I started painting. I was only 8 months old. Once my sister was painting a picture, and with watercolors, I crawled towards her, grabbed her paints and brushes and started painting on the floor. My parents saw that there was something special in me and I was creating beautiful compositions. So they handed me a canvas and paints, and I created my first ever painting on canvas when I couldn't even walk or talk. When I pour the paint on the canvas, I see different forms of different creatures, and I start interacting with those creatures, and I continue painting. Many people know me. I have created over 100 paintings. Yes, I have also sold many paintings from around the world. I have sold paintings to Turkey, Canada, and UK, and New York, and much more. It's sold for a huge amount, like crore and dollars. I feel a little bit sad that my paintings are getting sold because I want the painting with me. But I also feel excited about it. I sometimes feel like I'm in a dream. Sometimes when I'm painting a really beautiful painting and the next day it's sold. I feel like I had a dream but it wasn't real next day. While I was painting, I saw images of Pegasus which were prancing in a dreamland, and they weren't just any Pegasus. They were zebra Pegasus, and they were flying. It was like a garden where everything is perfect and they're happy. So I named the painting Zebra Utopia. It was such an incredible feeling. Initially, I could not believe a robot was painting an artwork, first time ever, and it wasn't just any artwork, it was my artwork. I feel that art and robot have a similarity. They both interact with the world, and they have the power to change the world for better.
We are showcasing how our innovative pixel technology is helping the automotive industry deliver personalized vehicles in a faster, more sustainable manner. ABB is collaborating with two renowned global artists to create what we believe is the world's first art car to be painted by a robot. ABB's revolutionary award-winning pixel paint technology is faithfully reproducing the artist's designs on the body of a car. Pixel paint is the future of customized automotive painting. Each pixel paint head has 1,000 individually controlled nozzles similar to an inkjet printer, which can paint a car panel in a 2-ton scheme, such as the roof or a detailed customer design. It's enabled by our easy-to-use Robot Studio programming software. Once design is uploaded, even a highly intricate design can be painted quickly and cleanly. The paint is carefully controlled, and because our 3D vision systems are so accurate, the paint heads track just millimeters from the body. This means there is no airborne missing during the pixel paint process. 100% of the paint is applied to the car. With no wasted paint, lower energy usage, and less extraction requirement, it is a big improvement over other non-overspray technologies. Global manufacturers are in a race towards personalization. Car buyers want personalized vehicles that reflect their lifestyle. They are not starting with what brand do I want, but what feature do I want. For the automotive industry, the ability to deliver a personalized product is key to gaining customers. One of the primary tools for personalizing cars is through paint color and design. The question is how manufacturers can do this effectively and sustainably without increasing complexity and cost. With existing solutions, only about 70% of paint ends up in the car, wasting significant resources. And that's before you even consider personalized options. Customized paint uses more materials and increases time with multiple trips through the paint shop and manual intervention. Pixel paint is a faster, more efficient, and more flexible solution that streamlines personalization of manufacturing. In addition to delivering a personalized car, pixel paint has a significant environmental and cycle time benefit. In environmental terms, we are removing paint wastage, reducing the amount of paint used, and reducing energy use with less extraction requirements. And pixel paint is so accurate that there is no need to mask or demask the surrounding of any customized paint job, which slashes cycle time. This technology is more than just an evolution of automotive paint technology. It is a revolution.
I'm Shruti Kolarkar, and Advait is my 8-year-old son who is an artist. Advait started painting when he was very young. He was around 8-9 months old, and he was very attracted to the colors. He saw his sister was painting with some watercolors, and that sight was really interesting for him. He crawled towards her, grabbed the brushes and color. That was the first instance when he experienced painting. And it was like he found some magical wand and he was ready to do the magic. So that expression was really amazing. So no one has ever taught him to paint. It is Advait who is coming up with a lot of amazing ideas and compositions. So it is all his creation. Because every parent loves their child's art, but we thought this is something special, and we showed it to an art curator, and he was so amazed with Advait's work. He observed Advait, his process, and they immediately came up with an idea that they want to show his work in their art gallery. And that was the moment when we could not believe that it was coming, and it happened. And Advait had his first exhibition at the age of 2. Advait's first artwork was sold in $500. Now he is selling in $7,000 per piece, and in all he has sold for $130,000 till now. Advait is very inspired by artificial intelligence, robots, and technology. So when we were approached to have Advait's artwork painted on a car by a robot, and when Advait came to know about it, initially he could not believe. And he was very excited how all these things are going to happen, because robot is one fascination he has, and that was going to happen for the first time ever. So that was such an amazing thing for him. It was such an incredible feeling for him that in his studio he was painting that artwork with a lot of mess around him, and the robot was doing it so efficiently with like 0% wastage of color. So that was really, and he felt that was really amazing about the robots, that they are they work like humans, and but they are faster and more efficient. And he feels that that connection with the artwork and the robot is just amazing. This summer, Advait's work will be showcased alongside the original paintings of Pablo Picasso, Henri Matisse, and John Miro in New York. This is real.
My name is Begüm Aydınoğlu. I'm an architect in the intersection of art, architecture, engineering, and future technologies. The inspiration behind the design of this artwork that we created as Ilizor is inspiration from the nature itself. Then we started to find the relationship between a car and nature, and how the momentum of the car is creating and affecting the nature in a way that it creates its own parameters and changes the parameters. The second thing would be the airflow that we translated in our design language as noise, the curl noise. So the curvatures and every single detail in our artwork is inspired by the speed, the movement of the car, which we can call as velocity, and the airflow that has been created through the car's movement. You can paint on a car with traditional techniques. Artworks that requires a robotic execution, because a human eye or human hands cannot execute that kind of drawing level of complexity.
Yeah, well, my name is Ian Callum. I'm a car designer. I've been a designer for 40 years now in various car companies, including Jaguar and Aston Martin. And now I am a partner in a business called Callum, and we specialize in bespoke and niche design. I absolutely believe that the motor car will still retain its individual need for people, and it will still retain its character within the world we know today. Yes, it's becoming more of a commodity, and it's something people expect to have in their lives, as like a washing machine or whatever other appliance you might need. But there's something very special about a car. People do get emotionally attached to them. And when they go and buy them, whether they may admit it or not, but the very look of the design of the car has a huge part in their choice. They've got to like the look of the car to begin with. Of course, branding is very important in that aspect as well. People often buy cars on brand, but that just emphasizes the fact that it is an emotional purchase. And for that reason, the aesthetic of the car remains very important, regardless of what is going to happen with powertrains. The cars become electric. We're talking about autonomous. Well, there'll be a degree of lack of individuality, perhaps, in autonomous cars when they become taxis rather than cars. But I think if anybody's going to purchase their own car, regardless of powertrain, it'll still be an emotional buy. And I still believe the character of a car and the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it behaves in your life is important to most people. The offering this paint is absolutely incredible because it does offer a very individual look for any car and a very personal look as well. If you've got a painting you want to replicate onto the car, it can now be done. Now, before, that would be a complicated process of perhaps putting a wrap in it, which I always feel uncomfortable with. I think the real paint on a car is the way to go. You could do it by hand, but of course that's going to take days, if not weeks, to do, and you're not going to get a perfect replicated design that you might want. So this is offering all sorts of new levels of individual design for a motor car. In fact, it's incredible, you know, and it will get to the point where no two cars that you buy, albeit they might be the same car line, the same brand, they will not be the same. Yeah, I mean, personalization costs money, but even the large car companies now realize that personalization is also a moneymaker because people are happy to pay for it. I think when people are looking at a bargain basement car, they will just pay what they have to pay. But in most people, when most people buy a car, they do want to add their own personal touch, and quite often they're very, very happy to pay for it. And that's in fact how car companies make money: is all the personalization, all the features, all the accessories people buy to add to the car. It's where a lot of their margins come from. And this just is another opportunity to add margin to the product. And I'm sure if the pricing is right, and I'm not talking about a cheap alternative, I'm talking something that people are prepared to pay perhaps, you know, a couple of £1,000 or even more for it, then it'd be well worth it as a business case. Absolutely. And, you know, the whole notion of personalization of cars becoming more and more important to people. There are so many cars on the road, and you know they are ending up a little bit like cookie cutters, as they say. They're all looking very similar, and people want personalization, individual design on their product. So I absolutely believe that with the right investment, the right pricing, there is definitely a business case for these individual paint designs. Yes, I see everybody that we deal with when we're doing cars for, we're doing very individual cars, and they do have their own requirements. What I try and do is feed them a level of taste that I think is correct into their product. I don't want to do something which I cite as being untasteful, but I think there is an opportunity to put some of these ideas onto our products. Absolutely. Depending on what the customer wants. Now, my view is that I would probably design something that was sympathetic to the car, but it's still a paint job, so to speak. It'd probably have a kind of empathetic line to how the car is shaped. However, that's not necessary. If somebody wants a fairly random piece of art applied to it in 3 dimensions, then that's clearly quite applicable. My view is I'd like the paint or painting to be sympathetic to the lines of the vehicle. But that's just a process of picking the right graphics for the right areas.